So jokes, huh?
What is a joke? Judd Apatow says a joke is a stage comedic performance that roots in vaudeville acts from the late 19th century.
Huh.
I know.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
thorough definition, you know. There's a comedian named Michael Jr.
Yeah.
who basically says, a joke is a setup and a punchline.
Sure. I believe that setup. Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot more to it. Obviously, there's cadence to me. There's something funny that happens to me when I get on a stage to do stand up. And the way I talk is there's this rhythm that was immediately created on its own. And I'm not sure if I wrote it that way in the cadence, very like haiku, or if just something about the way that I say it, what the punchline is. So, for instance, I'll say, da 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 da. Exactly. I mean, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So, like, the way I'm saying it tells you when to laugh. So it's almost, and I didn't mean to do it. Like, I watched the first time I did stand up, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what? Who is talking? Like, that's not how I talk. But when I would sit down and write my next jokes, I'd be da 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 da. Like, I must be writing that way. That just how my brain hears it.
So can you tap into that at any time, or does it just you just have to be actually doing stand up?
It's my telltale for when I'm.
But you write it that way. You're saying that you
Yes.
somehow wrote it that way. It's not something that just.
It's the
no
way
matter
you
how
can
you
tell
write it, it's going to come out.
I'm trying a bit on you in real life. Like when we're just talking, it's the way you can tell that we're no longer just talking, and I'm now like saying something that I'm workshopping.
I see. And you've never had anyone misunderstand the situation?
Constantly, my entire life. Yeah, every turn. Sadly, especially
when they get all mad and you say, "No, I was workshopping a bit." What do they say?
Yeah, you're full of shit, and block.
It sounds like that could be a get out of jail free card you're trying to play, right?
It never ever works as one.
Anyone gets mad at what you say. No, it was a bit, I swear.
It's usually flip over the board card. That's usually which card it is. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight is kind of writing.
So you're gonna allow us to
see inside my mind of creating a set. That's what I want to do. I want to create a 5-minute set. Probably should do 4-minute. Because I don't want to rush it. Because there's supposed to be laugh breaks as well that you don't equate for when you're writing. So I want to say let's just start with a 4-minute set.
So when you as soon as you think that okay, it's 4 minutes in your head, so like how many jokes is that? Like do you have like a math? Does that equal something?
So a joke is usually about 30 seconds for me. So that would be about 8 jokes. The show's over.
So we got to write 8 jokes in 30 minutes for a 4-minute set.
We don't have to finish it. We just this is kind of how it. I want to do this.
I'm goal oriented, Alex.
Yeah, you are. Deadline. So that's kind of funny. You say like, is there a certain number of time that you have to do for that? Like for each joke, there was a comedian Dat Fan that used to like journal each of his jokes down to the second, and so that's how he would do his jokes. And there were people who were just like natural comedians who'd been doing it their whole life who hated him. We're just like, that's not comedy. That's math.
Yeah.
You're doing math.
Dat Fan, didn't he win like Last Comic Standing?
He won the very first Last Comic Standing, and he got like his own special and his own show. Good for him. I like that for him.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Dat Fan.
So basically, the way this works is you come out on stage, you introduce yourself, and you connect immediately. And the way you do that is you come up with a joke, and in my opinion, that describes what you look like. You know, like if somebody saw you on the street and they were to think the oddest thing about you, if they were to pick out that one thing that was just a little different, what would it be? And let's hammer it home, that very first joke.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And for me, it used to be like I'm a love child of blank and blank, you know, and it was that simple. Or like I'm what happens when an Italian has sex with a puppet. You know what I mean? Like
There it is.
so that's you start there, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's what it is."
But,
You
but,
know?
but, but, but do you just go right into that, or do you like to schmooze a bit? Do you like to say, "Hey"?
So here it is. It starts off, "Hey everybody, my name is Alexander Katz, and I know what you're thinking. And yes, I am what happens when an Italian has sex with a puppet." And that would be the first joke. You know,
Yep. And now you just put them on the train. Now they're riding the.
so now they've
train.
giggled. They're like, "Yeah, that you do look," you know, like, and I can either jump off that joke. I can split it both ways. If nobody laughs, what do I say? So if nobody laughs, you can make a joke out of the fact that nobody laughed. If they do laugh, hammer down with another joke about it. So it's like if nobody laughs, it's like, wow, must have like nobody's Catholic in here, huh? You know, like, and then we're like, you know, like you've now made fun of yourself for making that joke. So that's the way that spiders off.
Mhm.
Or if they do laugh, you're like, yeah, it's kind of like the writer from Hamilton had sex with Gonzo. You know, like you could, you know, I could double down on it if I
do the whole 4 minutes of just all the different combinations.
but that's just the first joke. That's the opener. So you've got them laughing. Hey everybody, my name is Alexander Katzev. I know what you're thinking. Yes, I am what happens when an Italian has sex with a Muppet. Laugh, laugh, laugh. It's kind of like if Gonzo had sex with him. What's the guy's name? Everybody knows the guy from Hamilton. You know, Alexander something.
Alexander Hamilton, Manuel Ferrari.
Anyway, it's in the description. So instead of saying, you know, the guy from Hamilton, I'll say his actual name, Lin Manuel. Yes, what happens when Lin Manuel sticks his dick in Gonzo. Anyway, what's the next part? So the next joke would be, "Who am I?" Something about me specifically that you don't know, that personalizes, creates the connection, and it would be. I usually do like my job. So be like, yes, I'm unemployed, or as my friends like to say, no, that's what it is. I've just ruined the joke. That's the punchline. The setup is I'm a stay-at-home dad, or as my friends like to call me, unemployed. Yeah, so that's the next. But it's not bad being a stay-at-home dad, because the outfit that you wear to work is great. Because at any moment, if there's like a CrossFit competition going on, I can be there suited up, ready to go in my basketball shorts and cut-off shirt. You know, so it's I'm making fun of the fact that every single stay-at-home parent has this, like, you know, leggings style exercise gear. That one may only work in the like certain demo as well. Like that may not work with a younger crowd who are wearing shorts outside after dark. You know, they're still wearing cargo shorts and flip-flops to a bar.
Do you so if you're writing a 4-minute show, then if like do you have some additional jokes in the canister just in case, like or do you just stick with what your gut was?
So here's the thing. I start off and I have it down to an outline. So first one would be, I would title it Lin Manuel, what we just said. So on my paper, it would say, "Hey everybody, dash, you know, Lin Manuel, dash, stay-at-home dad." And that's where we are right now in my set list. So I would keep that piece of paper right next to me. So as I'm going through, I'm going, okay, what do we do? We like go like Lin-Manuel. Okay, next one is anyway. So I'm a stay-at-home dad. Love my kids. It's great. But you know, the worst part about being a stay-at-home dad, or the best part about being a stay-at-home dad, is the outfit. You know, again, this through time, I figure out what that dialogue is. The idea, it starts with the idea of what we're making fun of, and starting with making fun of me is a good start.
Yeah, it's a great start.
So I don't have to do the Hamilton bit. That's something that we just came out with. But I do think the unemployed outfit bit is good, because it's like the other day I saw this guy who had a flat, and so I offered to help him, but it turned out he was just training for a Tough Mudder. Have you ever, you know what a Tough Mudder is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been invited yet because I'm not tall enough to jump on those boxes. Yeah, so I feel, yeah, if you don't have any friends that don't do CrossFit, just wait. They'll tell you. You know, they're like the vegan of the exercise world. You know, so essentially I think there's a bit there, just hammer home one-liners about how funny CrossFit culture is. And I think that'd get laugh whether you like CrossFit or not, because again, that they are the vegan of the exercise world.
Oh, definitely. All right, so now you've made fun of yourself.
Yes.
You've shared something about yourself, and now you've made fun of CrossFit.
Which I always like to do. I always like to make sure makes fun of exercise for some reason. And I feel like it's always good to be on the side that is sort of poo-pooing it. You know, like the side that goes like exercise is dumb. Feels like a bar group would be more inclined to agree with that. You know what I mean? And if not, then you've got, you know, someone to troll. So
yeah. What's next?
Well, we're probably at like 2 minutes right now. So probably halfway through just with that. Because it goes Italian, Muppet, into stay-at-home dad, into
now it's time to hit him with something really offensive.
Well, here's the part that now you've got him essentially. Like now you've got a show, and now is where we would drop something like proverbial. Like if you this is where you come in and go, this is where the hard hit goes. This is where you sneak in sort of the lesson plan. So this is what I like to do. Now you've got them on the relatability, and you've got them on something that everybody's made fun of, either vegans or CrossFit, either one side or the other. Either they're in it now, and they did make Tough Mudder is one of my favorite things, because it's, golly, have you been invited to be on a Tough Mudder? No, you don't have any friends that have nothing better to do with their lives than be shocked in the mud.
I've got lots of friends that do it, or I shouldn't say lots. I got a handful of friends that have done it.
Some of my best friends are Tough Mudders.
My mudder's a mudder. That's a Seinfeld joke.
Relatable.
His mother was a mudder? His father was a mudder.
So the question is, you know, what is unique to our age, I guess. You know, this isn't in most of like the stand-up format. So it's start off with a big joke, then sell yourself as relatable, and then transition into other jokes that continue to sell yourself as relatable, that in my opinion need to be about you, not about your mother or not about your brother. It should literally be you talking to the audience.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, you know, so I know this guy and here's a story about him. You know, I don't like that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear about the person.
Are you against like making up a story that's not even real?
Yes. I want it. I mean, again, this is so one of my favorite quotes that I'm now like really trying to breathe in is don't be funnier off stage than you are on stage. So we sit here and I'm trying to write this perfect joke. But you know, I could sit here with you and probably get just as many laughs in a normal conversation, you know, talking about Googling something. You know what I mean? Like it's make sure, yeah. And in your head, you've just written a joke about Googling. And bring that to the stage instead of sitting here and going, this has to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be word because for me, I can do it where it's word for word. I can absolutely sit here and go, this is scripted, and I know exactly what I'm doing. But what happens when the lights turn off for a minute, or the sound goes out, or you know, somebody comes in and says the British are coming, or whatever would stop the show for a second, and now I'm going, wait, which word was I on? Instead of like, all right, we were talking about John over here, who's a construction worker for Arby's, but why only Arby's? Like, because of the meat? Is it? Do they give you? Is there incentive? You know, and so like I kind of want to work in talking to people at some point in the show, but I would need to leave in room to do that. It would actually have to be like a, all right, now let's do like the audience portion of the show. You know, like, who wants to talk to me? And just
Anyone?
make that my bit. You know what I mean? Where this is like my lives, where I go like, all right, who gets my attention? All right, what's up with you? Oh yeah, oh that's you know, and it's been done before, but it's terrifying because
It's terrifying to have a section of your show where you're relying on
just blank.
Yeah.
It's just blank. So it's jumping without a net. And I don't know if I want to jump without a net. I like a net.
She's a nice girl.
She smells like cookies. So anyway, back to what is the next part of
Well, so did we get into the you said that you were going to get like sentimental, right?
Yes, so that's where we're at. Is I want to come up with something because I feel like this is what defines some of the great comedians. The ones that leave you with a lesson without you realizing they've just taught you something. I don't normally plan a show that way, but you know, like George Carlin, and you'd be like, I'm way too drunk to watch a George Carlin show because 10 words in, I'm gonna, you know, have to pause and look up some of these words. That's not what I want, you know. But he'd leave you going like, damn, if that's not true.
Right.
So the point is, I want to leave people going like on the ride home, just going like, motherfucker, like as it connects.
So yeah, so for me, I'm thinking, you know, you just got done with the mutter joke,
Okay.
and you mentioned like, you know, you don't get invited to them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like one way you could go with it, I guess, you know, things that maybe are relevant to our age would be, I mean, right away when I transition from when I'm thinking about the mutter, I'm thinking about like what people do to be relevant. Like the lengths that they'll go to feel some sort of a achievement, pride.
No, I like it. So I'm sorry to cut you off. What I've got from this is we go from Tough Mudder not being invited to it to talking about how difficult it is to make friends in your 40s.
Right.
It could be about dating, you know, it could be making friends / dating because it essentially is the same thing, and how difficult it is to just weed through people. Like, why is it so easy for kids?
Mhm.
What do kids know that we don't? Like, what have we forgotten? And kind of take that moment of silence. You know, like, should we be chewing on our fingers more? Is that what we're missing out on? And maybe that's the joke. Is maybe that's where I bring you back, as I start asking silly questions that kids do that don't make any sense, but that bring them joy.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good relatable joke. You know, like,
My not to
topic.
go on a tangent, but like
no, you should.
my my daughter the other day, my third child, 4 years old. So whenever Melissa goes out of town, or whenever she's gone for any amount of time, the house becomes a disaster. And
Of course.
and before she gets home, I want to spend a little time getting it ready, because it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want her to walk through the door and be like, wow, you know, Jordan, you're not a complete degenerate. Um, you cleaned the house. Congratulations. So I want her to feel good, anyways. And so part of that though is I don't want to do all the cleaning. I want my kids to learn how to freaking clean, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like bossing them around. my 4-year-old, she starts putting stuff where it doesn't belong, and I'm like, no, Layla, that's that's not where that goes. We want mom's gonna want you to put that where it goes. And she goes, yeah, Daddy, but I want to be different. And as soon as she said that, I was just like, you know what? Good for you. Be different. Put those things there. That's it. It just was like this weird scenario where, like, I mean, the stuff didn't go there, but I started realizing I'm not going to fight this battle, because
Did you
I
move
love
the
that
stuff
she
when-
wants to be different. You
Did
don't
you
want
move the
things to be the
stuff
same.
when she wasn't looking?
Yeah, oh yeah, I put it away.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I picture your wife going, "Who put this there?" And you go, "She did it."
She did it. She wanted to be
Immediately.
different. And I told her not to be different. You got to be the same. The
Under
same
the
as
bus.
anyone.
Immediately under the bus is what I pictured.
Never go against the grain in this world. You'll get eaten up.
I told her don't do it. She didn't listen. Shame.
Sorry for that rabbit trail, but be different, man. Come on.
So yeah, we talk about new friends,
Lemmings?
dating. Kids have to be the same age as other kids, otherwise it's like the kids don't even want to hang out with each other. It's like, all right, well, we have to leave because your kid's 3 years older and just shot mine in the face with a BB gun or a squirt gun.
My oldest daughter just farted in my son's face today. Anyways, dad problems. Sorry.
Did you do something about it?
I told her don't do that.
Just put her in timeout?
No, I said go sit on the other side of the couch, you farting farter.
And they all giggled because you said fart twice in context, right?
Yeah, they don't ever take me seriously.
Yeah. So then after the making friends, I feel like now is about the time where I try to find the joke, the punchline.
And do you want it to kind of come full circle?
Yes.
Do you want to have your set to kind of come back to the beginning?
So is the joke something with Lin-Manuel? Is it with a puppet? Is it with CrossFit? But it's whatever one of those punchlines was needs to be the punchline of the ending of the show. I know it's a toughie. It can be organic too. It doesn't have to. We don't have to like sit on it. Just noted that and that's called a callback joke. That's something I do normally when we just discuss things.
Yeah, you love that
It's
stuff.
one of my favorite things. So it's not something we have to worry about. It'll come back around. It's just identifying when it does and putting that joke last.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the final part of the show. So we've knocked out probably about 3 minutes at this point. The question is, at an open mic night, do I want to leave room for chatting with people?
I mean, so my one thought that I had, and I don't know, I mean, but one thought that I had would be open mic night, 4 minutes. I mean, it almost seems like something that you could do on a whim if you just kind of felt like the written material wasn't landing where you wanted it to go. That you could just open it up to.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like
I don't know if you have to plan it. I guess is my like.
If I were
just leave and
emceeing
let
a
it out.
show, that's what I would do. Is I would have like a joke written for every single like transition act, but also be able to talk about the show itself. So you get back on stage, be like, fucking flip flops, am I right? As Joe Baloney just said. Anyway, speaking of beach trips, blah 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 blah. Peed on a jellyfish. It's supposed to be the other way around, but ha 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 ha. Anyway, our next artist is blah blah blah, and so that would be a skill to hone. Hone. Yeah, so that's. I mean, again, it's terrifying to think about though. To just go like, okay, give me a mic. What's up?
I mean, and is this what you're gonna do? You're gonna finish this up. So we've helped you workshop this a little bit, and then you're gonna go do an open mic.
I mean, I was even thinking next week I'd try to put it together and just do the actual bit.
Do it here.
Like take the headphones off, not even listen to you. I may even hide your face and just do the bit.
So you're my wife, basically.
As if you weren't here. Did you make the bed? Do you have to make the bed every day? Is the bed made every day?
No, we're not bed makers.
So what do you think about that? Do you think it's important to make the bed, or do you think it's like trapping your night sweat?
I think that it's fine to make the bed. I think that there is some things, I've seen that viral army guy talking about how you got to make your bed to make a difference or something like that. But no, I don't think that it just isn't practical sometimes. And my wife messes up the sheets, man. I don't know what. I mean, like it's by the time we wake up, they're like twisted and balled up and wet.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds
Mostly that's just my sweat, really.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
What are you guys that are in the chat? Do you guys make your beds? Who makes their beds? Say pickle if you make your bed every day.
Say pickle.
Are you a bed maker?
No. I will. If you were like, we make the bed now. I'm like, I guess we make the bed now. But no, not
Anna, you just do your side? Is that out of spite or
is the bed half made or half unmade? I need a picture of a half made bed.
Yeah. No, I mean there are some half and half things at our house too. My wife, there are some things, she's hyper clean. I don't think I'm a mess, but I'm not as clean. But like she won't, when she cleans, like we got a double sink in the bathroom, she'll clean her side and leave mine. And so it'll be like night and day difference. Hers is sparkling like a freaking diamond, and mine is beard hair all over the place, and
Yeah, I mean, like, is she supposed to clean your side?
no, that's how we survive our marriage. She,
Is
that's
by
how
her-
that's her like active acceptance or whatever that is. You know, like I'm not gonna get mad at this.
Is that a therapy term?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like understanding that you're not going to change someone. So you put things in your life that um, allow you to accept them for who they are. You know, like, you know. But so hey, so do we have a set? Do you have a whole set then?
I don't, but
need another joke.
I need one more joke to end it with for sure. I'm not. It's not on a 30-minute deadline. This was just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I said the deadline is next week. Actually,
mean,
trying it out.
You kind of had all this stuff. Like I mean, it didn't seem like did you make up some of this stuff on the spot here, or did you already kind of have that in your notes?
I didn't have it. It was a blank sheet of paper when we started it, and there's no notes. That was me. The pen is just so I can write down what I've been saying. This just.
I mean, that's amazing as it is, man. I mean, a lot of the stuff that came out of your mouth, I figure, oh, these are jokes that he already wrote.
There we go. That was the other one I want to do. So here's a funny bit that I think is amazing. That it's just me. This is just true to. This is just me.
I have no idea what just triggered you just now. Is there something in the chat?
No. This was what you were talking about. So here's a joke that I want to add to my set. So people do not take driver's license photos correctly. They have no idea how to take a driver's license. They get up there. They don't smile, or they do smile too much. Not me. The way I take my driver's license photo is I look as plastered as I can. I look hammered. I look like I'm having the time of my life. Almost like I've just left a party. So that when the cop pulls me over after I've just left a party, he's looking at it going like, well, I mean, that's spot on. I mean, I can't argue. I mean, bloodshot eyes. Yeah, no, I mean,
this is you.
Lie. Yeah. And
sorry for pulling you over. They started apologizing to you.
And
sorry for your bloodshot eyes that you have to live with for your whole life.
I'm gonna blow up my driver's license photo, and it's this right here. No lie. And I've got one from before that. Whereas the first time I'd like gotten my driver's license in California, and I had like really curly hair, and I was wearing like a button-up shirt, and I'm like I'm looking at, like I'm having the time of my life. Like I just left like Lollapalooza or whatever current music festivals there are. And that's every time I get on a plane, whenever they look down, I always make that face so that when they look back up to be like, what is, oh, nope, that's the same face. So I usually go, and I hold it like I'm a photo. So people, that's what I do. That's how you take a driver's license photo.
Have you gotten any of them to crack a smile at all?
Every single one of them. There's never been a time where the person wasn't like, go ahead.
That's great. Those people don't laugh.
So yeah, that's
they're like the British Guard or whatever. Like they don't.
I get them every
Queen's
time.
Guard.
The TSA people who like have to check your ID, they cannot not smile when they see that photo. You know, and they look at it, they look up, they go, well, you look like that's true to form. You know, like that. Those are your teeth. Like whatever it is.
Do you think then they go home and they're having dinner with their family and they're talk
like,
about this?
Yeah, they go home and they're like, you know, this could be perfect for our Tough Mudder team.
If only he didn't look like Grover.
Yeah. So the ID photo is one of the jokes I want to put on there because that's not even a joke. That's just true. That's just something I've always done. And I realized at some point that not everybody does that. or no one had realized that that would be perfect. You get pulled over and you're just like,
Then if you are actually sober, then what happens?
you make that face and they laugh.
What if you forget to make the face?
But you don't, because that's how you break the ice. That's how you make people laugh right there. You know, you're like, every time you pull the ID out, you're like, all right. And they look over like, ah. let me tell you a
one
story.
time when you didn't get a laugh. You telling me you made every single person laugh that has ever seen you do that face?
When I'm on an airplane, yes. When I've got on an airplane, not a police officer. Police officers don't have that same sort of sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah. So that would end my set, essentially. But the question is that a good enough joke that I should bring earlier in the show? Because I feel like right now it was very organic in how it's written.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want to run through it real quick? Just kind of a quick run through now, or you want to wait till next week?
I don't. I want to do it once in the shower, by myself, and really jerk out the results.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think
that's the way to go.
I think you should jerk it out in the shower.
Just where the ideas come to me is when I'm alone and soaking wet.
Are you soaking wet right now?
It's really hot. I don't know if you could tell. The fan isn't on. The window's closed. Luckily, I don't own sleeves.
Is that a toilet behind you?
This thing?
Yeah, what's that?
The teeny tiny toilet. Where do your animals go to the bathroom?
Is that where your puppet goes?
That is a mug heater. So that you can infuse ink onto a mug or whatever design. I've got my own little Etsy store here.
Fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Would you ever consider doing stand-up? Is that something you think you could ever do?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the type that would like go to an open mic. I mean, if I had enough confidence in the material, I suppose. I've never, like, I shouldn't say I never. I don't know. Like, this was a lesson for me. Like, this was a tutorial, a master class.
And I really ran through it quickly as if we'd talked about this before.
I did for a Christmas party early in college. We threw a Christmas party in our like apartment, had like a little thing, and we invited a bunch of people over, and I wrote like a comedy bit. What is that, a mosquito?
I killed the fly. It's a skill. Get used to it. Sorry, you were talking about you.
I was. So I've done it once in my life where I've written. Yeah. Well, I mean, like for the purpose of the stand-up. Like I knew I was going to be like the MC, and I wrote jokes to tell throughout the evening.
That's fun.
Man, it was. I don't know. I don't remember how they landed. I don't always know.
No. I went to Meltdown Comics, which doesn't exist anymore. It was a comic book store in the heart of Hollywood, and they had like a comedy stage in the back, and they would have like Wednesday nights, like Aziz Ansari or even Robin Williams would like pop in sometimes and just do their sets, workshop it there. And I got like a Sunday night open mic. Like they pick 25 names out of a hat. You get 4 minutes or something like that, maybe even 3. But I had written a 5-minute set. I think that's what it was. You get 3 minutes, and I had written a 5-minute set. And I sped read those jokes in my head. Like I was nervous. It was the first time I'd ever done it. I wore a funny shirt with a logo on it that was like nerds. It was, and I invited some people, and I killed it. It went really well. I went
Nice.
a minute over time, but it's whatever. They're not going to do anything to you. It's open mic. And when I got off stage, the MC was like, I was friends with the assistant to the guy. He was like, Ben just told me that was your first time. And I was like, yeah, I've never done this before. And he was like, fuck you. And I'm like, what's up? He was like, you're supposed to bomb like hard your first time. He's like, that's the lesson of stand-up, is that you're supposed to bomb. He's like, you're this, like, man, I hate you. Like, how are you this good the first time? And I'm just like, I don't understand. Just like, so the next time I bombed for him, I got on stage. I was like, all right, everybody, giggity, giggity, giggity. Who wants to see me hump this pole? Me too. And they never laughed again.
And that's when you knew, okay, now I am a real comic.
This is a true story. That's true. So the second time I really did bomb, and I was like, got it out of my way. I'll show you, MC. I did. And then I never went back to that place because I was so embarrassed. And now they closed it down. So who's laughing now?
It was the same place?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just went back the next weekend full of confidence. Like,
So,
all right, I'm going to do great.
And then they had put your picture on the wall after the first set.
Do not laugh at this guy.
Then you bomb and they throw it in the trash.
They were secretly laughing. They were like covering their face because they didn't want to see me to see it. Is there a dog barking? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. Did your dog bark?
Sounds like she's whining.
Oh.
Should I let her in? Are
What's
we
her
done?
name?
Snuffleupagus?
Snuffleupagus?
No, that's not her name.
Snuffy?
Close. Fluffy.
Sniffles?
I call her Fluffy. Which, in
Fluffy.
saying her name, is probably going to make her want to come in more
Mm-hmm.
over and over again. But her government name is Wendy Lou.
Ugh.
Right? That's why I call her Fluffy. I'm not standing outside. Oh, where art thou, Wendy Lou? Oh, Wendy Lou, come. Wendy Lou, come. Oh, come for me, Wendy Lou. I'm just not doing it. But
Well, I think we did good work here tonight.
I think we did work. The adjective of the work is debatable.
I think we have a set that
yes, we have a
could
start. We have a great
succeed
start.
or
I
could
agree.
bomb.
But the point is that we've got the ball rolling on something that is a year in the making, essentially, at this point. So that's fine.
We're good.
All right, I'm gonna go put the dog to bed.
I'm gonna go put my dog to bed.
You have a dog?
No,
Cool. We'll talk about that next week.
I'm gonna go walk the dog.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. Love you, Jordan. See you next
All
week.
right. Love you. Bye.